Hello fellow Nitro owners. Today on this old Nitro fixer up, I'm going to change my steering wheel from the 1996 OEM. I believe it's just a standard Teleflex, and you can't see it here, but flex is exactly what it does. And at the same time, I'm going to work on my horn. It's intermittently working, so I'm going to look underneath for a wire connection, but today's focus is going to be the steering wheel. So out with the old, in with the new. Let's get started. Alright, first thing we're going to want to do is pop off this center cover here. So all you do is just grab these tabs and you pull them all to you, and the center pops right out. There we go. Yeah, a little bit of corroding here. Obviously some mud wasps or something might have been nesting. Alright, let's get this center nut off. To get this off, you're going to need a 3/4 inch socket and an extension to clear the outside of the steering wheel. Okay, I've backed the nut off till it's flushed here with the surface. The steering wheel is a taper lock fit. Now I've seen on YouTube and other videos they show you to take a ball peen hammer or something solid and strike here while lifting back here. You want to apply pressure at you and tap here to break that taper lock free. Some say it can be quite tough, so let's see how we make out. Okay, so it took but 3 little taps and she popped right up. And I did have my hand behind it. I kept some upward pressure. So finished taking the nut all the way off. Remove this little washer. You want to keep this stuff because this will be reused. And then the steering wheel is off. So I'm going to turn it over here because it's full of crud. And here's my steering shaft. You'll see the keyway. So all that's going to have to be oriented and centered before I mount the next steering wheel, because I want the best centered position and steering wheel mount. Alright, next thing you want to do is put on your hub. You have 2 keyway slots. So you go to the back, physically center your motor, come back around and choose the orientation, which key slot is going to give you the best steering wheel on center when you finally mount it. So I've chosen that one. Let's go ahead and get the nut and washer locked down. Start off with the washer, then the nut. You want to run her down and then give it a good snugging. And when you snug it, make sure you don't rotate this and forget where center is, because then you got to go back. So I'm looking at this here as like 1 and 7 in case that turns a little, so I don't misorient that after going through all the trouble to center it. So let's get it tight. Alright, while the steering wheel's not in the way, I took these 4 screws out and found a loose wire behind here, cleaned it up a little bit, made it a little tighter. Horn works. So let's get back to the steering wheel. Let's get it fitted. When the steering wheel goes on, I'll be putting the center cap on, and I'll be putting a small dab of regular blue Loctite at the end of each thread to secure them into here a little better than just natural. For cleanliness purposes and reduce risk of Loctite spill, I put a little dab at the beginning of each hole before I put the bolts in. That way I didn't have to worry about it dripping anywhere in the boat, on the carpet, or just taking any chance of a problem at all. Since the steering column actually angles down, every drop I put in went straight down the hole. So now, as you can see, I've been working this around in like a torque pattern, same way you would do a wheel on a car. I took it down till it was flush all the way around. Now I'm just going to draw each of these in tight, going from one side to another, being sure that it's snug. So I'm going to set the phone down for control. And there you have it. New steering wheel. Fits perfect. One thing I definitely like about it is I'm not a large framed guy. And this steering wheel, with its little bit of a dish, somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 3.5 inches of dish, plus this hub, I believe, probably gave me a little bit. This is very comfortable. I'm no longer like a full arm stretch. I've got it right up here to me. I still have plenty of room to get in and out of the boat. It didn't take up any space in that aspect, but I do like the idea that I have some bent elbows now. You know, if I was in a race car, I think it's still a little too far from me, but it's nothing like the OEM. I don't know if you can tell, but this stuff is like very high grip, high tech. I mean, for not being leather, they did a fantastic job. The stitching looks phenomenal. The anodized green, it's rigid. It's no longer flexing. This thing is solid, so A+. I love it. Looks great. Thanks for viewing. If this is on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate to ask questions. It was an Amazon purchase. I think I've got $55 between hub and steering wheel, so yeah. And while it was apart, horn fixed. So thanks for viewing.